Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So we recently had one of our members on the Desired Trade channel and talked about really how he's starting to turn the corner and become successful. And really, when you look at it, the key to his success was he just didn't quit, right? He just had the opportunity to learn and develop and not give up. Really cool stuff. We see a million videos on YouTube about, the characteristics of successful traders. Well, newsflash, a big one: don't quit. Let's go through some tips that will allow you to stay in the game and basically not fail. Let's get to it. So after doing this for several years, you can see very clearly the path that certain successful traders make and the ones that are still struggling do. And there's some distinctions, and a lot of this is just math. The ones that do this end up being successful. So we'll talk about a few of these now, and let's just start with the first one. Really, really important. The ones that don't quit or don't fail, they just don't do it alone. They may have started doing it alone, maybe in an isolated fashion, trading, but they eventually join communities, have an accountability partner. They kind of feel more empowered. You could see the developmental learning track really accelerate to eventually where they get to where they want to go, or at least get on the right track that they want to go. I started out doing this alone, and obviously it had a sort of initial bad outcome, but it eventually worked out because I joined communities and got a coach and things like that. So don't do it alone. Whatever you do, start to think about that as your next step. Okay, next, be a specialist of one, maybe two. Okay, don't try to be the jack of all trades. All right, pick one or two products or underlyings that work with you, that resonate or fit your lifestyle, whether it's time frame, things like that, and just go for it. Be a specialist in that. One of the things I've always sort of been critical of myself is I didn't explore other underlyings or other areas of trading, such as commodities and things like that, early enough. I was just a specialist of the S&P futures. All right, I know it like the back of my hand. Like that friend who maybe is a lot of fun and all of a sudden a little quiet, and you get that sort of gut feeling like, is everything okay? You just get to know that person really well. Well, same thing with underlinings. You just know when the sellers are going to come in, or it's like, okay, I had 3 or 4 days of big moves. Now it's probably going to consolidate. Nothing really says it in the market, but you just kind of have that sort of knowledge based on just repetitive watching this each and every day. So be a specialist of one and crush it. That's all you need to do to be successful in this business. If you start spreading your brain talent too wide, it tends to get muddled up and your developmental curve really gets all screwed up. So be a specialist of one, maybe two. All right, next, big one. Identify the areas that you're struggling with and have an action plan to address them. Really, the game of success and not failing is not about really becoming, quote, better trader. It's just reducing those errors, and sometimes stupid errors that we've done in the beginning. Just reducing those will put you in the promised land. Think about the time where you did maybe a monthly journal and say, yeah, I was about even, maybe a little high, up or a little down. But if I didn't make those mistakes, I would have had like a 4% gain. Well, you stop making those. Now you got your 4% gain. That's really the difference between the top traders and the ones that are struggling. But what the ones that were successful did were the ones that didn't quit, and they identified those areas early and they had a plan to address them. Next, understand how markets work. Right? It's not just about when price comes down to a moving average, I enter. It's about understanding the psychology of the markets. Understand that these markets move because of human interaction, whether it's big funds or individual retail traders. Understanding where they're trapped, where they're going to panic, or where they're going to start adding to positions is really, really an important element of trading, which sometimes I think we lose when we get too deep into the rabbit hole of technical analysis. Take a step back and understand how markets work. Okay, so this is sort of a no-brainer, but find what the successful people are doing and then do that. Now, I don't mean a strategy. I think it's overrated. Look and see how they approach their business, right? Are they calm during bad days? Or how do they prepare for the day? What do they do outside of trading, which helps them in their trading, as far as keeping fit, having a routine? Maybe it's other businesses. How do they manage family life? That was kind of a really important thing that I observed and learned and allowed me to become a better trader. Don't underestimate the power of you. Okay, so this is one takeaway that I really want you to bring home if there's only one. It's redefining loss in the scope of your trading journey. I see too many times, oh, I went 1 and 2 today, or, at that loss at the end of the day, it killed me. Who cares? I mean, if you have a positive expectancy, which is really important for any type of strategy, or even like a 60, 70% win rate, well, 30% of the time, it's not going to work out. Don't worry about it. It's part of the success process. I know that's hard to understand and really hard to absorb, but you have a losing trade? Who cares? Now, if you lose 200 trades in a row, okay, we got to reevaluate, all right? But accept loss as part of the business, all right? This is very trading in the zone, Mark Douglas-like, but really understand it, embrace it, learn from it. Now it becomes sort of a winning trade, so you won't make the same mistake twice. And even if it wasn't a bad trade, just move on. It's part of the business. Learn to redefine loss. So important. Big takeaway for today's session. All right, next, evaluate regularly and optimize the process. Now, I'm all for daily report cards, weekly assessments, whatever it takes. I love to see traders getting their hands dirty and identifying areas of improvement. It's all good. But sometimes these daily report cards can get a little too much. Take a step back. Where are you going in your journey? I love my monthly report cards. It gives me sort of a bigger perspective and doesn't focus on just, like one entry where I missed a couple pips or something. Doesn't really matter in the scope of things, right? Take an assessment where you're going, where you need to improve, and optimize that process. All right, next, and this could be painful for some, including myself, but determine if this is the right time for you. You may have all the things going for you, including your motivation and incentive. I get it. I want to be part of that entrepreneurial spirit. But sometimes life happens. Things aren't working well. Maybe you have some caregiving, elderly parents, kids are going through school, or maybe you have one on the way or something. Maybe it's not the best time to be loading the boat and trading. However, trading has other responsibilities: development, learning, right? Redefining your craft, preparation. Do those things where maybe it's not the best time to be actually pushing the button, and you'll find your learning curve will go much smoother. Okay, another key takeaway I really want you to think about, almost like in the middle of the night, lose sleep over. You could blame me on this one, right? Make the commitment that you won't quit, right? This journey is going to have so many highs and lows, up high confidence, low confidence. You're going to want to think and reevaluate, say, maybe this isn't right for me. But really, it's that valley of disappointment where most people quit. It's not about 90% of the traders fail. It's a lot of them just quit. So make the commitment not to quit and get help. And really, the power of community will allow you to find accountability partners, or maybe a fellow trader, even a coach, who will get you through that sort of rough time. But really, the biggest difference I see in, quote, successful traders, it's not because they're that much successful. It's just they didn't quit. Make a commitment today. Okay, and lastly, think about this one. I want you to prepare your resume for the things that may follow. One thing about life is you're set on a certain path, and all of a sudden other opportunities come into play. That's because you're stuck around long enough, right? Doors will open. Maybe you're really good at trading, but you found the bug for coding and you're really good at it, and maybe other people want you to help them with that. Maybe it's managing capital. Who knows? Maybe it's preparing the resume for a potential prop firm job opportunity. Who knows? We don't. But as you go through your journey and build your equity curve, document the journey. Right? Learn from it. You could have a conversation with someone, and all of a sudden it opens the doors for better things. Who knows where life is going to take you? But if you have an open mind and an open door, have that resume ready, because you never know where life is going to take you. All right, so I hope you got some interesting tips. Some of them even may be a little philosophical that you can apply outside of trading as well. But really, the glue that holds all this together is not doing it alone. Now, for our members, we have a monthly mastermind call, and one of them we did recently was purely based on the power of not doing it alone, the power of community. And we can share that with all our YouTube audience. Click on the link below and we'll give you special access to that critical information to help you become successful. I hope you got a few things out of this today, and we'll see you next time.